Our dear Father who art in heaven, we thank thee for the opportunity we have to meet today as class. We thank thee for the opportunity we've had to be participating in this class and to have this opportunity for this education. Please bless our continued efforts, and we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Negotiating on thin ice. Dylan, you want me to give the synopsis?
Yeah, let's just do it short. Yep, take it away.
Okay, synopsis. You've got two parties. You've got the National Hockey League Players Association on one side, and on the other side, you have the National Hockey League. And it's 2003, 2004, and they're trying to do a CBA, a collective bargaining agreement. And basically, the struggle is it's money. It's all about money. The league says we need more money to survive. The owners say we need more money to survive, and the players are like, we need at least another $1 zillion to keep playing this game. And so they're trying to meet at the table, and it's not working out at all. And that's pretty much the synopsis.
Perfect. Okay, what do you see as the root cause of the problems identified in the case? Well, the union is a problem. Second,
Greed.
The main problem we have is, I think, this is just me, but I feel like as soon as you're a union, you feel like you can do whatever the H you want. So that's the number one problem is there's no respect, or there's something in a union that says I'll never back down for some reason. So that's like my main problem I pointed out. Given money's there, but
I think that's the nature of a union. I think a union always starts out with like a real issue, like there's some real maltreatment or abuse or something. There's always some real like root cause. It's not just like, hey.
Well, yeah, and they take it from this and go to this is what I don't know.
Yeah, but the problem is with any organization, right, is you get people in there and they want the power.
For sure.
And they lose it. I mean, it happens in church.
Yeah. Well,
right? I mean, you're like, your elders quorum president. Calm down. Just calm down, right? Relief Society president. There's not enough doilies on the table. Okay, we're not here. That's not the purpose, And I think they get lost. Every organization gets lost in its purpose. Governments, education systems. And then if there's money involved, especially if there's money involved, it's just going to go sideways.
Let's see. This happens how? So the NHL, yeah, they started this how many years ago? 1900. So what happened is they started making money, and they had the control over everything. And like early on, it was like, oh, the players wanted to be what? Private or own their own rights. Like slowly but surely, they wanted more and more as the money pot got bigger and bigger. Of course, like you mentioned.
Which is understandable. I mean, you're making more money, so they're paying to see us. Obviously, the owner shouldn't get it all. Which, I mean, that's reasonable.
But
totally reasonable.
Like, look, we made you guys rich. We started this. We organized it. So I see their side of it. It's like, hold on. Without us, there's nothing. So I'm surprised they went on strike for so long or didn't get taken care of. Surprised me.
Yeah. Well, it always seems to be, and Braxton, you tell me if I'm wrong here. It always seems to be a salary cap issue and like some sort of like the linkage to this is how much the league is making, so that our it's sort of like it's like a reverse cost of living. It's like the cost of business. As they make more, the players just automatically feel they should make more.
Yeah.
Because the business makes more, I'm the employee, I should make more.
Well, I noticed too that like you get the two leaders in there, the Gary Bettman, and then also the leader for the NHLPA, who was good now, yeah. I feel like those two kind of have some personal beef between each other too. Like they don't.
Oh yeah, that's power.
It seems like they don't like each other at all.
No, they're not interested in doing any kind of negotiation.
No. And so they're both like so set in stone. They're Goodman or Goodnow is like, no way, I'm not settling for any kind of a salary cap. So whatever you have to say, forget it, because I'm not going to listen to any of it anyways.
Right.
It's amazing, dude, how stubborn. But
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so, and this is just my little bits. Like, I'm no negotiator, but I just bought the fence company, and I had this same situation with a group of people, and people get so stubborn on what they're stuck on, they don't look at what they could actually gain by cooperating, and it almost ruined the whole deal at first. I was like, hold on, we gotta get our shiz together because you both lose when you don't figure it out, and especially this sense, they're losing tons and tons right now.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's hard when 7 people are put in the same room.
It's really funny. I just watched a show last night, and I can't remember the name of it, but it starts out the first 5 minutes. It just shows a conference room of people, and they're all screaming at each other. And this guy walks out, and he says, "The deal's falling apart." So they bring in this other fella who's a closer, right? And he tells the guy, he's like, "Wait a minute. Why is the deal falling apart? 3 hours ago, I was in that room, and it was all fine." He's all, "So what happened in 3 hours?" And he's like looking through like the list. He's like, "Okay, you're following this, this, and this." And he says, "Wait, you don't give the guy who's leaving the honorary title of vice president?" And the guy who's taking over the company says, "No, there's no way he's getting that title." He's like, "But you agreed to it. Like right here, you wrote that, you agreed, and now you're backing out of it." He's all, "You want to know why your deal's falling apart? Because you won't give a guy an honorary title." He's like, "But I don't want him involved." "Yeah, but that's why it's honorary. He's not going to even be there." But the guy was going to lose his whole deal over that. And I felt like, wow, that's exactly what's happening here. These guys are like, "I am so about this little point. I'd rather just nobody makes money. We'll just nobody. I'm throwing a tantrum. Toys on the floor." And it's like, and that's what happened. They lost billions. I mean, nobody made a dime.
Surprises me because the new salary cap they're willing to hit, was it 40 million?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
So look at this though. What's wrong with starting somewhere and then reevaluating it in 3 years? Like, it's not like you're committed to that for the rest of your life. That's the thing. I don't mean, maybe you are. I don't think you are. I mean, clearly you're not. You can renegotiate a next year and next year. Like, just agree and move on. Like,
well, that's what they've been doing, is new collective bargaining agreements like every 5 to 10 years.
Which is probably normal, I bet, wouldn't it be?
Well, yeah, but every time they revisit it, it's the same thing where it's like, guys, we know you're going to do a salary cap now, but in 5 years you're going to say, yeah, but now the league makes $2 billion, so I want it to go to $70 million a player. Okay,
Okay, well, I'm going to ask the next 2 questions as I get these out of the way. So the next one talks about what's the strength of a BATNA, which was something, 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 alternative something, right?
The best alternative negotiating agreement.
Yeah. What is the best way? Well, let's see. What are the best ways to strengthen? So what was their best alternative? What did you guys put down?
For the best alternative?
I thought the NHL's best alternative negotiated agreement they already had was the last one with the 40 million cap, and they kind of, isn't that like what that's referring to? Like, what was their best alternative they hadn't agreed on? That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Excuse me, like the one that they said, well, we can take this and this. So that was like the best alternative, I thought.
I thought they should have taken it like at 40, because I was just looking in here. The last one that the league offered was a $42.5 million salary cap and a deadline to accept by the next day. And then Goodenhow was like, no way, 49 million. And then that's when they were like, okay, then we can't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering how much the cost of living is for a hockey player.
Yeah.
Like, you can't make it on that. You got a problem.
Yeah. Well, it's so surprising. Like, the big picture of this, did you hear him say they're pretty much gambling with the players, like, oh, we're going to drop millions on them hoping we'll win the World Cup? Is that what it's called?
Well, that's what it is, right? I mean, the only way the owners make money is on the TV licensing. You're not making it on ticket sales. You're not selling enough jerseys for hockey. There's no way that's happening, right? Football, maybe soccer if you're in Europe, but hockey in America, no. It's TV. So the only way you're going to do it is by putting people who are interesting on the ice.
Well, no, I guess
how is hockey interesting? You beat the heck out of your body into another guy, right? That's the point. We want to see you brawl. It's like gladiators on ice skates. What? okay, so it's not like there's a lot of like thinking going involved with hockey. So for somebody to say, I go out there and I be a brute for 40 million, were you going to make it somewhere else? I mean, I don't think Gretzky was like a world economist. You know what I mean? Where he was going to pull it off anywhere. Or these guys weren't real estate barons. So let it go. I don't get it. It's greed.
I see the idea that, and so this, and that's the thing. See, the players want more, but NHL's going, look, we want to grow this market, and we cannot bring teams into it when your cap is, because when you have a team that has 100 million and you have a new team and a new player that are at 10 million, they're never going to be able to get them into the industry with them. So my whole thought of this whole thing was saying, look, one side wants money and one side's trying to grow a business. That's what NHL, that was their focus, was, look, we've got to stop this. Not because we don't want you to make money, but there's no way for new players and new teams to get into this right now if they don't have an opportunity. So it's kind of just, I look at it as a regulation. No one likes them. But at any rate, so that's kind of that. So what's the ZOPA?
ZOPA.
Is it possible to change another person's ZOPA, which was, I guess I pulled my case study.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, that was the zone of possible agreement, right? That's what ZOPA means.
Well, yeah, but in this case, their ZOPA, neither one of them had one. They had hard lines. There was no. They never ever started with the middle ground. It was, you have to meet us here, and this guy said, you have to meet us here.
I guess that's the question.
And that was it.
Can you change another person? So no, if they.
Oh no, you can. They did it. It's simple. I will go to the extreme. I will deny you even the possibility of anything. I will cut you off.
Okay.
I'll cut my own hand off if I have to, which is what they did, instead of letting you have it.
Okay. So here's the main last two questions. I think everybody just put an answer. So the one says, what would you do if you were the National Hockey League Players Association to resolve the situation? So I guess each of us come up with something we would do. Take it away. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Braxton.
Maybe I'm cheap. Maybe I think $1 million is a lot, but I would have taken the $42.5 million that they offered the last time, because they haven't been playing for a year, so nobody's making money at all. And no, they didn't want a salary cap, but I was looking like at the NBA and the NFL, they all have salary caps now as well. So I'm like, eventually they're going to come to it, which I think they probably did. I should look that up, but I probably would have settled with the $42.5 million and agreed with the NHL.
Gotcha.
I would have done the same thing. I would have went to all the players and said, guys, we just don't need 3 Ferraris. We don't. But you know what? Going over to Europe and playing over there, it sucks. I want to go home to my home at night, which is 17,000 square feet. So let's just stay here. I think we're fine. But let's put a clause in there that says, yes, we want to grow the business. How much do the business do we want to grow? Because we're part of it. And we do want to follow that revenue line, but at a much more subtle level. So let's say like 1% of revenue is put towards salary as we increase, right? Because you're certainly not going to do it if it decreases, right? I'm not going to take a pay cut if the business goes down. But if I'm helping to make the business grow, I expect a cut of that. I'm helping that, right? And I'm willing to take a cap if it does help my business grow that I want to be involved in. And why wouldn't you want to do that? Because the more people who get involved in hockey, the more they're going to look back historically. So your shelf life is like, what, less than 10 years as a hockey player. But let's say the whole world gets inundated with hockey. They're going to say, I want to go back to the old players and look at their stuff. And then they're going to buy your old jersey. And they're actually going to care about you, and you'll be relevant, and you'll keep making money all the way till you're 70 instead of, well, for 5 years I was really cool. And now we're done. That was it, and that'll be it. So that's what I would do.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just do the same. I'm out. Cool. I think I think the players weren't involved. I mean, I think unions want people to stay quiet, and I noticed they kind of didn't let people come into the same conversation. So what the players kind of did, as Matt said, they said, "Hey, we want to get back to playing," which a couple in the case study they talked about. I think they voiced their opinion more. Their leaders or whoever's in charge of the union have to get their shits together and get it moving in agreement, but that's just not how they work currently. So I think, yeah, get more people involved. Okay. What would be gospel connections I don't care about? Rest of the story. Did you guys look at the story? I'm going to look real quick.
Yeah.
Anything.
I did. Did you guys?
No, I did.
I wanted to know. So the long and short of it was this. They tried to get it going. Obviously, it didn't happen. Everybody got locked out. Everybody lost a ton of money. So they said, we're not doing that again. Right? So then it comes all the way around to July, and they thought they were going to have a deal signed off on the 4th of July. It didn't happen. Everybody's rushing. They start doing these marathon sessions of just meeting after meeting after meeting. Long story short, they got the caps. They got different things. Everybody got their money, whatever. But 5 days after they signed the deal, the National Hockey League, president, CEO, whoever, he was out. 5 days after he left. And same for the two major contenders, the two guys who were so adamant, they both were out.
Why?
Like instantly. Because people were so sick of them.
Oh, for not coming.
They were so disgusted. And they were disgusted that they didn't get what they wanted too. I mean, they were still there to this day. They're like, it should have gone my way. It's like your pride is endless. Your ego is bigger than a skyscraper. Like, you're crazy. So, yeah, the conclusion was, business went about as usual. Everybody had a nasty taste in their mouth at the end, and a bunch of people left because of pride. Big shock. Big shock.
Oh. Well, lesson be learned. Learn how to get along with people. Don't become a union. Hope you guys don't work in unions. That's okay if you do. That one.
No, I stay away.
The last time I saw a union out in Tennessee, they were over a big uranium enrichment plant. And same thing. They were all butthurt. They didn't get a raise. And literally the whole town sat on the side of the road for months on end. And the company had to pay, to fill all those positions. It's costing just millions whenever this happens. And I don't even know any other organization that does it except unions. That's it. That's the only thing I've ever seen do it. I mean, well.
Yeah.
At any rate. All right, I'll submit this. I think that's good, guys.
Thanks so much.
Is this our last week? We got one more next week,
I think this is it.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Been real.
All right, guys.
Good luck.
Okay.
See ya.
Yeah.